Welcome back. It's your boy Koozie back into another hot TikTok reaction video. Like, subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this. Let's get right to it.
Okay, so hear me out. There's people that say that these hurricanes and flooding was a conspiracy. Could somebody help me out there? I just don't understand. Like, how do you just make it be a hurricane and make it flood everywhere? I mean, I understand that you could make the dam break, but could you really make it just pour down rain and flood somewhere? Can that really just happen? Help me out. Tell me the truth.
Yes, the government can control the weather a little bit. Cloud seeding is not a new technology. It was invented in 1946. The way it works is simple. In nature, every single raindrop has a little bit of dirt at the center of it. As a matter of fact, if our atmosphere was perfectly clean, we would not have any clouds or rain at all. So someone had the brilliant idea, well, what if we dumped more particulate into the clouds? Wouldn't that give the water more places to hold on to, which would make more raindrops? The stuff they drop is not even that special. Sometimes it's just salt or dry ice. Pretty much every country has experimented with cloud seeding. China famously does it before big events to try to get the clouds to drop their rain before hitting the event. And we've tried to use it for more nefarious purposes as well. During the Vietnam War, during Operation Popeye, the US tried to basically flood out the North Vietnamese troops and make their supply routes more challenging. There's just one problem with all this. It just doesn't work that well. We have 80 years of research on cloud seeding at this point, and it's not hard to do. Like, you or me could go up in a plane and just take a bunch of salt or whatever and try it out for ourselves. But at best, it has a 10 to 30% impact, and some scientists think it does nothing at all. But it's not a conspiracy. It exists in the private sector as well. This is a company you can call and have them come, do some cloud seeding above your farm or whatever. So why haven't you heard more about this stuff? Because it just doesn't work that well, basically.
Message.
Okay, did you see the video that just came out today of a person in Florida, and they were in their backyard and they were walking around and they noticed something smoking out of the middle of their grass? Literally, smoke was coming from their grass. And she was like, what in the world is in my grass? And everybody in the comments cloud seeding, because apparently you use dry ice when they cloud seed and they're up in the clouds trying to make rain happen, trying to control the weather. They literally use dry ice. If you think that this Hurricane Milton is natural, think again. After what just happened to North Carolina, something that has never happened before, a devastating storm that unalived so many people, that should have never happened, and it's never happened there before. And now all of a sudden we have a hurricane that is so strong it is almost a category 6. And literally the weather guy was crying about it. The government is trying to take us out. They're aiming towards the south.
Free game though, pay attention.
October 13th, 1947, a B-17 bomber flew along the edge of a hurricane. The storm had just wreaked havoc on Florida and now is moving off into the Atlantic Ocean. Once it was 350 miles from shore, the hurricane became a good candidate for a new experiment to see if they could weaken the storm by dropping dry ice into it. So that's exactly what they did, dumping in more than 175 pounds of solid carbon dioxide. While absorbing the dry ice, the hurricane pulled a 180, tore backward, and made landfall in Savannah, Georgia. One life was lost and damage was extensive. At first, nobody could be sure what happened, but it looked like Project Cirrus had caused the hurricane to go haywire. Later, investigators showed there was almost zero chance the dry ice had any effect on the hurricane. The storm had apparently shifted its course before it was introduced, and then the hurricane actually followed known weather patterns. Not everyone was so sure, though, including one of the project's scientists who was convinced they had caused the storm to change course.
Yeah, okay. Now, there's been reports of people saying that they've been finding dry ice in their yards and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? In the areas where the hurricanes are, like Florida, and even a couple from North Carolina. We're going to see about that right now.
What the heck is that? Just out of nowhere, something started smoking in our yard. I can't tell if it's going out. Is it going out? It's not going out. That's so crazy. I mean, nobody really would have a fire right now because it's pouring down rain again. I'm going out there. I am going out there. I can't stand it. I gotta know what it is. Oh, this grass.
I don't know what that is.
This grass is so bad.
Huh? But you can see the smoke, right? Alright. Would you get away from that?
What is it?
Alright, I'll see you when you get here.
And what else could it be? It's definitely not a fire. Let me know if y'all had some incidents like this. Some of y'all people that are in this area, these areas, during this hurricane. I'm finna get tongue twisted, but during the hurricane, you know, or before the hurricane around these areas, because now we know that cloud seeding is very real.
Oh my god, the cutting glass. Oh my god.
Woo, real or fake? Let me know down below. Come on, man, not another one. What about Leslie?
Scary. I'm finna tell y'all. I'm about to tell y'all why this shit's so scary. Somebody already predicted this shit. We in the year. We in the predicted year. Yep. I'm finna share that with y'all right now. We in the predicted year. That all of this was predicted. Okay? So I'm finna take y'all back right quick, man. So back in I always speak on the old school YouTube days, right? And I always say, you know, if you was around back in like 06, 07, you remember when we could find everything on YouTube. Y'all think we got some shit on TikTok now. You know why I like TikTok? Because TikTok is like a baby old school YouTube. Like that's why I think they trying to get rid of TikTok, because TikTok really became what the old school YouTube used to be, right? But it's still it's still heavily restricted. You still get flagged. It's certain videos I won't even post because I think that they'll shut my shit down, right? But anyway, so back in the old school YouTube days, man, everything you could think of. People was hacking NSA servers. People was hacking the CIA. People was doing all kind of shit and uploading this shit to the internet, right? It got so serious that the government stepped in, and that's who took over YouTube. If y'all don't know, I'm gonna go back and check out the Viacom case when Viacom sued YouTube and took it over. They sued YouTube and Google and took it over. So anyway, they got to the point where they started monitoring us by what we were watching, because they was trying to see who the conspiracy theorists, things of this nature. All right. So back then, it was a lot of information out there, bro. I'm talking about, like I done seen footage of the hybrid humanoids that they got at the fucking DOCE facility, at the underground military base. Do your homework. Check out the DOCE tapes. Okay, if you ever get a chance, Google that, the DOCE tapes. That come from the old school YouTube days. We done seen some stuff.
Okay, Al Bielek is the guy. He's the guy that survived the Montauk Project and the Philadelphia experiment. If you don't know, I will put them at the end of the video so you can watch both of those. I have videos about both of them. The Montauk Project is based on, well, I can say based on, it's the real Stranger Things from the show Netflix. It's a show off Netflix, and that was based off of the Montauk Project. Well, I'll put those videos at the end of this video so y'all could check them out if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen them yet.
We plan to evacuate between 70 and 80,000 people. We plan to execute between 70 and 80,000. We plan to evacuate between 70 and 80,000 people.
What do y'all think is happening? This whole situation.
We got the pause. He definitely meant that. He didn't mean to say execute, which was the original plans, is what I'm getting out of that, because of what's going on right now in that area. It feels like they was definitely trying to execute about 60, 70,000 people instead of evacuating them, because I doubt they evacuated that many people.
It's getting a little bit fishy. It almost seems like they're trying to keep everyone in this area. This is me right in the middle of all of it. A few hours ago, I'm sure you've seen the traffic. Now, this is the Miami airport. Someone called in a suspicious package. Okay? They're going around here. Okay? They all missed their flights. Okay? They canceled all their flights. So now they're all stuck here too. The only way out, I put a little thing, said the only way out was flight. Okay? Now you can't even fly out because they canceled all their flights. Isn't that wild? The traffic, you can't get out from the traffic, can't get out from flying. What were they supposed to do? Wild stuff. What do y'all think is going to go on?
Continue to see several different tornadoes in these outer bands as they move here into southwestern Florida this afternoon. So continue to stay in your safe place if you are in this tornado.
So they've never seen tornado outbreak like this right before a hurricane.
We've had several tornadoes already, and there are
huge
many more to come.
Huge
This could be one of the biggest tornado outbreaks
EF4s, EF5s. So they're gonna destroy it with tornadoes and then bring the hurricane
we
through.
still have a tornado on the ground right over the Lahaina area of Florida, so that tornado is still in progress.
I don't think there's gonna be too much left of Florida.
That's wild, and I'm sure many of you by now have already heard this, that 72 something, or not 70, I think like 17 tornadoes around that area ahead of the Hurricane Milton. That's wild. That's wicked, man. That's something that is kind of unheard of in Florida like that. Man, that's crazy. Like I say, ain't nothing a coincidence. Don't fall for the boo-boo, man.
Is Florida about to experience a tsunami?
Look how low the tide is. And look at that dock there. It got like, wow, it literally looks like the water is sucked out right now. I'm not playing. It looks like the water is sucked out.
But that train keeps rolling. All down to the Van Antwerp. All down to the Van Antwerp.
What's going on here? It's definitely lower than it normally is. One thing noticed.
My mama told me, son,
it's much, much lower.
always be a good boy.
Well, all that water's going to be pushing back.
Pray for him.
You guys asked what conspiracy theories I was talking about. I gotta tell you now. Tampa Bay has not been directly hit by a hurricane in over a century. It hasn't been since 1921. It is said that a Native American tribe created sacred burial grounds along the entire area to protect it from ill will. This is an intentional blessing of protection put around these specific areas where last minute hurricanes have shifted slightly and not hit the sacred areas of Tampa Bay. As of recently, a St. Petersburg homeowner dug up one of these sacred Indian mounds and was advised to stop touching it. Almost a year later, we were directly hit by Helene, and today locals have been leaving offerings at these burial grounds in hopes that the Native Americans will protect us from Milton. Here's the fact check on everything I just said.
Man, I knew something was up with this hurricane or these
Spectrum Bay
hurricanes.
News 9, the state archaeologist confirms a human bone was uncovered at an Indian mound in St. Pete.
And now the homeowner who was having that mound removed says he's reversing course and will be putting all the excavated material back. Spectrum Bay News 9's Josh Rojas is in St. Petersburg with more on this developing story.
All work on this Indian mound stopped last month when human remains were discovered, and that remains the case today with no further excavation planned. The homeowner says he recognizes the importance of preserving and respecting the site.
Karen Sarin has an Indian mound in front of her home that extends down the street.
This is a very big Indian mound that goes all the way from here all the way to the end of this block. So 4 houses of Indian mound.
Karen loves the Indian mound. That's why she was upset when a new neighbor began removing his portion of it back in June to build a driveway. It exposed layers of shell left over from seafood the Native Americans ate.
Well, this one, you can see that they broke into it and they would just take the conch out.
The dig also exposed indigenous human remains. Through a spokesperson, the state archaeologist confirms human bone was uncovered and it's archaeological. That means 75 years or older. The state archaeologist says plans are being revised not to disturb the site further. In a statement, Karen's neighbor says he plans to rebuild the retaining wall and replace the original soil that was excavated. Karen says she's happy the Indian mound's going to remain intact.
I think that's where it belongs. I think it was left there for 2,000 years or 1,000 years or however long, and I think that's its resting place.
Robert Rosa with the American Indian Movement says he's also happy with the outcome. Rosa says he wants to see state law strengthened when it comes to disturbing Indian mounds.
They dig us up constantly, and we need these laws changed not to favor builders or developers, but to favor the indigenous people who've been here for thousands of years.
Karen says Indian mounds are what makes the Bayshore Homes neighborhood unique.
You can't replace 2,000 years of history. So I think it's a win-win outcome.
The homeowner says the archaeologist he hired will oversee all of the work on the mound, which is required by the approved certificate to dig from the city. Now, both Karen and Rosa credit our coverage for helping to turn things around. In St. Petersburg, Josh Rojas, Spectrum News.
Archaeologists say the St. Pete neighborhood was built on the remains of a 2,000-year-old village.
Man, I'm almost positive that they have some strange paranormal encounters around that neighborhood, because who builds, matter of fact, who let someone build houses on Native American burial grounds, man, knowing what we know about this stuff in the past? That's just, in a way, just suicide. I'm not even gonna say that. That's crazy. That is some crazy stuff. I ain't gonna use the S word, but y'all know what I'm fit to say. That is crazy.
Good morning. It's currently 6:42 Eastern Standard Time, and I'm coming to you this morning from aboard my sailboat, where I live in Northeast North Carolina, with an update on Hurricane Milton. So every morning I get up and I check weather patterns, hurricane patterns. It's just something you do when you live aboard a boat. But I'm gonna tell you what the news isn't gonna tell you about Hurricane Milton. The water on the Gulf Coast of Florida, the closer you get to Florida, the warmer the water is. So the wind shear that they're telling you is going to cause the storm to lose strength, it's not. The warm water along Florida's coastline is going to intensify the storm right as it makes landfall. Furthermore, once this storm crosses over the state of Florida and it is introduced into the Atlantic Ocean, the water on Florida's east coast in the Atlantic is significantly warmer than that in the Gulf currently. And when it is introduced into this warmer water on the Atlantic side, it is going to re-intensify. And for those of y'all that do not know, warm water to a hurricane is like pulling into a Circle K when your gas light's on. It is going to give strength to this storm, a storm that is already a Cat 5. This storm is a huge storm. It's wide, it's big, it's strong, it's powerful. It is going to cause tremendous damage in places that are not prepared for this storm, which is the main reason I'm making this video, because there are numerous other places that need to prepare that are going to be caught off guard because no one is telling them to prepare. This storm, once it crosses over Florida, is going to be introduced into warmer water, which is going to make it re-intensify. And as it introduces itself to this warmer water, it is also going to be introduced into the Gulf Stream. For those of you that don't know about the Gulf Stream, it's a warm current that flows north out of the Caribbean along the eastern seaboard of the United States. And it flows north until it meets a southerly current at about Ocracoke, North Carolina. When this storm touches the Gulf Stream and it's extremely warm waters, it is going to make a rapid turn north. And when it does, the storm is so big and the Gulf Stream is so close to our eastern seaboard that it is going to rip apart places like Savannah, Georgia, Charleston, South Carolina, and places of my home, North Carolina. I am actually considering taking my boat to the Chesapeake. I say considering, I'm actually making preparations to get my boat to the Chesapeake. And I'm making those preparations now, and it hasn't even made landfall in Florida yet. And the reason I'm making those preparations now is because I am going to be right. And when this storm turns north, I'm not going to have time to go from where I am to the Chesapeake Bay, because the storm is going to come north so rapidly. It's going to catch so many people off guard, and it's going to destroy the eastern seaboard of our country. I pray to God that I'm wrong. Disregard it if you will. Again, I'm no meteorologist. I'm just a sailor. Call it sailor's intuition. But my spirit will not let me release the idea that the storm is coming. Let me say that again. Not a storm. The storm is coming. I would so much rather be wrong and have to deal with y'all telling me I'm wrong, and I'll leave it to the meteorologists and all these things. But I'm going to tell you, I don't think I am. And I would rather be wrong and make this post than be right and not have said a word. Please, if you are in places like the eastern coast of Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina, please prepare. Get a bag ready and follow your gut. Because, I mean, just a few weeks ago, no one was expecting Helene to do what she did. So please take the aftermath of Helene when considering my message, and understand that Milton is a larger storm and it has the potential to cause even more catastrophic damage than that of Helene in places that are not prepared, because no one's talking about it. But this storm is going to go north. There's nothing in the Atlantic seaboard that is going to push this storm further east once it crosses Florida. Everything on the eastern coast of Florida is going to push the storm back inland and northern. Please, I pray that y'all heed to this warning and seek shelter and seek safety. Please.
You, my friend, seem to know exactly what you're talking about. If anybody disagrees, let me know down below, since you're an expert at this.
Well, the average daily population in the jail right now is about 4,100 inmates, and staff out there now. We're going to an all hands on deck staffing model. It's probably another 800 people that will be out there. The evacuation plan for the jail is a vertical evacuation plan, so we move everybody up. Again, with that number of inmates, it's really not possible, feasible to evacuate people out of there, and it's unnecessary because we can go up. So everybody will be safe out there, and we will move some of the people in some of the ground level housing units into some of the high-rise housing units, and we just move them up. So we'll have plenty of staff there. Everybody will be safe. It's under control, and I'm not concerned about it. Thank you.
Even though they done the things they did, I feel like they still don't deserve to go out like animals. They're still human beings.
This needs to be on record for every citizen of the United States of America to be aware of what is happening right this moment in the state of Florida. Today is October 9th, Wednesday, and it's 12:44 Eastern Standard Time. There are multiple jails in mandatory evacuation zones, Manatee, Pinellas to name two, where they are not evacuating the jails. This is real. This is not propaganda. And this has happened before. If you remember in Lee County with the sheriff who has now turned out to be the completely corrupt piece of shit. Do you remember that? Didn't want to evacuate Lee County jails either. What about the juvenile detention centers? Are they still there too? Again, this is not propaganda. This is real. This is being covered in Newsweek, in the New York Times, claiming that it is a secure building. There is no such thing in a storm like this. There is no such thing. They have left these people jailed. Please talk about this. Please make sure that this is known. Emergency services have been suspended for a lot of these areas. Water service, utilities, suspended because it is a full mandatory evacuation. And you've just left these people just caged like fucking animals. Some of these are traffic infractions. How many of you are gonna come in here and threaten my life for talking about that, just like you did after Hurricane Ian? This is happening.
It's disgusting, man.
Wish that I was on a rocket hop down in the Tennessee.
Oh no, I'm texting. That's crazy if it's true. Man.
This is Florida. Pay attention. Pay attention. You see them blue marks? Pay attention, y'all. This is 2024. Listen here. Why they built the apartment complex on top of this black cemetery in Florida? The same place where you can't teach about black slavery. The same place Milton is headed. This is look at this. Those are all graves. They built the apartment complex on top of, look at that. State of Florida, y'all. Pay attention. Exactly. They built, this is a cemetery that they built. Look at the complex. Look at them, all them blue boxes, graves. Wow. They're on top of the black cemetery. And this is recent news. Helena, Milton, all the rest of them souls, they is angry. It's the ancestors. I get it. You better get it too.
Honestly, I believe it's something more sinister going on with that, man. It may be where all the bad energy comes from, the projects and the hoods, man. And I'm not trying to make any excuse for anybody's actions, but I'm saying, if you know about the spiritual world and these grid lines and stuff, then you will know what I'm talking about, man. It's something more sinister going on than what they telling us.
Am I the only person that's thinking about all the stuff that's going to be uncovered in Appalachia with all of this flooding and all of the washout and all of that like coming down from the mountains? It kind of feels like people are forgetting what Appalachia is kind of, famous for, and that's a lot of crazy, creepy, spooky shit. Are we going to find evidence of way more things that we never knew about? Or am I crazy? Because I'm thinking like all that washout, it's going to show like evidence of, murders that have been unsolved, or people that have gone missing, because people go missing in the Appalachians all the time. People have probably committed some crimes and hidden some stuff up there too.
So riddle me this, it just flooded in the Sahara Desert. So the Moroccan government is saying they have gotten more rain in 2 days than they have in a year. For reference, on average, they usually get less than 10 inches annually. And this storm brought 3.9 inches within 24 hours. So Morocco's head of meteorology said they haven't seen this much rain in 30 to 50 years. The flooding was so bad in Morocco that 20 people even passed away. Not only that, it damaged farmers' harvests, forcing the government to allocate emergency relief funds. NASA satellites even showed water rushing into a lake that has been dried for 50 years. And this is how bad the storm was in the area. Now people, the Sahara is one of the driest places on Earth, okay? It only averages 3 inches of rain per year. However, some scientists believe that the recent flooding events are part of Earth's natural climate fluctuation, while others believe it's a result of human-induced climate change. So meteorologists are calling this thing an extratropical storm, which basically in layman's terms means that it's not very common, okay? It's not a tropical storm, it's not a hurricane, and it's in an area that has the kind of pressure and winds where you wouldn't have a lot of raining. But now they're saying these are going to become more common. What in the world is going on with the weather?
So the driest place on Earth, the Saharan Desert, has been flooded. And you're going to look at me with a straight face and you're going to tell me that nothing's off. This is why I stopped arguing with people a long time ago, because you can't debate and convince these people of understanding the times that we're living in. You just can't. If you think you can, it's low-key pride, and you're also deceiving yourself. Like, if you have an ounce of critical thinking ability, you can discern that we just live in some strange times. The times that our parents and grandparents did not get to see, but we're seeing them. Folks will look at you with a straight face and tell you that nothing's going on, that this happens every 10,000 years is perfectly normal. I'm not going to lie, bro. Go put the fries in the bag, bro. At this point, you guys are hanging on by a thread of cope. And that's okay. I mean, we all cope in a sense. I just choose to put my hope or hope in Jesus Christ, and you choose to put it wherever you do. But look, man, stuff is weird. The world's ending. Bible prophesied it.
Y'all, it's flooding in the Saharan desert. Something is definitely going on. And I don't want to hear no climate change or global warming. Somebody say the days of Noah. What? It's getting crazy out here.
Half of Wyoming is burning right now. I bet you didn't even hear a peep about that. Over 73,000 acres of Bighorn National Park is on fire right now. This is a horror movie.
Woo! Yeah, it's getting crazy out here, y'all. It is getting crazy. Fires in Wyoming. It's flooded in the Saharan desert, and all these hurricanes down here in the south. In the coast, the Gulf of Mexico is crazy. Y'all stay prayed up, check on your people, and be safe out here. It's getting really, really wicked out here, especially if they manipulating this weather like we're thinking. You know, it's getting crazy. That's all I got, man, for the day. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Y'all don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell on your way out. It's your boy Coozie. I'm out. Holla. Take it easy.